Contextualizing biblical parables in modern life involves interpreting the allegorical stories from ancient scriptures in a way that resonates with contemporary society's challenges and values. Parables, often told by figures like Jesus, use simple, relatable stories to impart moral and spiritual lessons. In today's context, understanding these stories can provide guidance on ethical dilemmas, encourage personal growth, and offer perspectives on issues such as compassion, forgiveness, and justice. The significance of contextualizing biblical parables in modern life lies in their timeless nature and profound message. While the settings and characters might belong to a historical context, the essence of the lessons transcends time. For example, the parable of the Good Samaritan teaches about selfless love and kindness to strangers, a lesson relevant in addressing contemporary issues like humanitarian aid and intercultural harmony. Similarly, the Prodigal Son offers insights into forgiveness and reconciliation, themes pertinent in personal relationships and conflict resolutions today. In real-world applications, these lessons can influence personal behavior and societal norms. A business leader might draw from the Good Samaritan to foster a culture of compassion and corporate social responsibility, encouraging employees to engage in community service or ethical business practices. On a personal level, individuals might refer to the message of forgiveness in the Prodigal Son to mend broken relationships or extend grace in family disputes. Relevant opinions supporting this approach argue that revisiting parables can enrich modern education and ethical discourse. Educators and philosophers often see these stories as tools to engage students in critical thinking about values and morality, making ancient wisdom accessible and applicable. However, challenges and controversies may arise, particularly when different interpretations spark debates about the intended meanings of these parables. Some critics might argue that overly modernizing these stories risks losing their original theological significance. Others point out cultural and historical differences, suggesting that direct application may not always be suitable. Connecting this point to the other aspects of the main topic, contextualizing parables enriches our understanding of the universal human experience. As we extract and adapt their lessons, we bridge the gap between ancient teachings and modern-day applications, demonstrating that while society evolves, fundamental human values remain consistent. By examining these parables through a modern lens, we acknowledge the enduring impact of moral and ethical guidance across generations. The heading in question involves the exploration of what modern life lessons can be gleaned from ancient biblical parables. At its core, a parable is a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson, as told by Jesus in the Gospels. These stories are not merely relics of the past, but are filled with timeless wisdom applicable to modern life. Their significance lies in their ability to distill complex human experiences into relatable narratives, promoting introspection and ethical consideration in a way that transcends cultural and temporal boundaries. In terms of significance, parables serve as a bridge connecting ancient wisdom to contemporary challenges. They encourage us to reflect on fundamental human values, such as compassion, integrity, and humility, that remain relevant today. Consider the parable of the Good Samaritan, which teaches the importance of kindness and helping those in need, regardless of their background. This lesson is evident in modern initiatives like community services and philanthropic efforts, where individuals and organizations devote resources to uplift others in distress. Another example is the parable of the talents, which speaks to the responsible use of one's skills and resources. This resonates in today's business and personal development contexts, where maximizing potential and ethical entrepreneurship are highly valued. Supporters of using these parables as life lessons argue that they provide a stable moral compass in a rapidly changing world. Noted theologians and ethicists often highlight the universality of these stories, suggesting that their core teachings can guide individuals through moral ambiguity and social dilemmas. However, there are challenges and controversies, primarily stemming from differing interpretations and the relevance of ancient texts in a modern secular society. Critics may argue that these stories are rooted in a specific religious tradition, questioning their applicability across different cultural contexts. Despite these controversies, the core tenets of these parables often intersect with other moral teachings and secular philosophies, creating a shared ethical framework that influences diverse aspects of modern life. The lessons from parables can prompt meaningful dialogue in education, leadership, and conflict resolution, fostering a society that values empathy and accountability. By understanding and reflecting on these narratives, individuals can gain insights that enhance personal growth and social cohesion, revealing the enduring impact of ancient wisdom on shaping modern values. The historical background of biblical parables refers to the contextual origins and evolution of parables as teaching tools in ancient biblical texts. Parables are simple, didactic stories used to convey moral or spiritual lessons through metaphorical language. In biblical times, they were a prevalent method among Jewish teachers, most notably employed by Jesus Christ in the New Testament. Understanding this historical context enriches our grasp of these timeless narratives and allows us to extract relevant life lessons applicable to contemporary life. The significance of the historical backdrop lies in its function as a bridge connecting ancient wisdom to modern-day life lessons. By examining the environment, culture, and linguistic nuances that inform the parables, we can better discern their intended messages and adapt those teachings to the complexities of modern existence. For example, Jesus' parable of the Good Samaritan transcends its ancient setting to emphasize universal values of compassion and altruism, which remain vital in today's socially diverse and often divided societies. Similarly, the parable of the sower illustrates the varying reception of teachings, analogous to how modern audiences interpret and internalize information amid distractions. Exploring this context also garners opinions from theological scholars and historians who argue that parables, when understood within their original framework, become powerful metaphors for introspection and growth. Despite their ancient origins, they address perennial human concerns such as justice, forgiveness, humility, and the nature of the divine. However, interpreting these ancient parables today does present challenges. There is ongoing debate about the literal versus metaphorical interpretations of these stories. Critics might argue that parables are too steeped in archaic contexts and lack direct applicability in a world that has technologically and socially evolved. Additionally, alternative interpretations arise from different religious and cultural perspectives, which can lead to varied conclusions regarding their lessons. Nonetheless, by delving into their historical roots, biblical parables anchor us to fundamental truths that continue to resonate. This linkage not only enhances our understanding of the narratives themselves, but also illuminates modern moral and ethical dilemmas, offering guidance rooted in ages-old wisdom. Ultimately, this historical exploration influences other aspects of our study by providing a framework through which these stories are dissected and applied, allowing us to craft lessons that are both timeless and timely. When we explore the lessons from ancient biblical parables and their applicability to modern life, we delve into timeless wisdom contained within these stories. Parables are simple, metaphorical tales that convey profound moral and ethical teachings. They often involve characters and scenarios that embody human virtues and vices, ultimately guiding audiences toward reflection and self-improvement. The significance of understanding these lessons today lies in their ability to address universal human experiences and moral dilemmas, providing guidance that's relevant across time and cultures. For instance, consider the parable of the Good Samaritan, which emphasizes compassion and helping others, regardless of social divisions. In today's world, this lesson is crucial as it encourages inclusivity and empathy in diverse societies. Real-world applications of this concept can be seen in community service initiatives and policies aimed at reducing discrimination and promoting social cohesion. Additionally, the parable of the Prodigal Son speaks to themes of forgiveness and redemption, resonating with individuals facing personal or familial conflicts. In modern contexts, this can relate to restorative justice practices that focus on healing and reconciliation rather than punishment. Opinions supporting the relevance of biblical parables suggest that these stories offer foundational teachings that transcend religious boundaries, appealing to a broad audience seeking ethical guidance. Some posit that the simplicity of parables makes them accessible tools for moral education, especially for younger generations. However, challenges arise in interpreting these stories as cultural and historical contexts influence their meanings. Critics argue that, without nuanced understanding, parables might be misapplied or oversimplified in contemporary settings. Moreover, not everyone may agree on the relevance or applicability of ancient texts to modern issues. Some may view these stories as outdated, preferring secular narratives or contemporary philosophies to address current societal challenges. Nonetheless, these debates can enrich discussions about moral teachings, pushing us to critically evaluate the sources of our ethical beliefs and how they inform our actions. In connecting to broader life lessons, biblical parables encourage an examination of personal values and the ways they influence interactions with others. They offer a lens through which we can examine existential questions and societal issues, fostering a deeper understanding of what it means to lead a principled life. By appreciating the enduring wisdom of these parables, we gain insights that can guide personal development and collective growth, underscoring their significance in navigating the complexities of modern life.
Thanks for watching True Light Adventures. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the light with someone today. See you next time.